Hello everyone. So today we're running up to Christmas. You can see I haven't even decorated the tree yet. Um, Although I have decorated the tree in the living room. I have to say that that isn't the only tree. Um, I thought I would release a little Christmas present. So for all of you that have been members of Perfect Entry for a while now, and there's a good few of you, and for all of you that are thinking about joining, I thought I would build something which I've been building for like the last few months. Something that I can give you both the strategy so you can test pairs before you go into them, you can get your settings, you can work all of that out yourself if needed, and then the actual indicator itself that you can use. So the concept behind this new indicator, which on my chart you can see is called Pip Hunter Freeze. The name might be changed before launch. I'm recording this on Tuesday and I intend to release it on Friday, so there's still time. So you've got the indicator and the strategy, and you can see that on my list of pairs there's a bunch of green pairs which are ones that I've already tested as profitable, yellow pairs which were profitable but I didn't like the look of the chart because they had a little bit too much chop in the middle, and then red pairs which just weren't profitable, which is okay, not everything was. But then I haven't also played with the settings. This was using the same setting for everything. So first of all I'm going to quickly generate a fresh report and we're going to have a look and see what it's like for BTC. Takes a little bit of a minute. We are doing the deep back test, which is running all the way to 2016. This is on the 5-minute chart. We can run on other time frames. You can see that this one did make 57,000% profit, but it's also a 20% drawdown, which is a little high for us. So we're just gonna come in. I would rather run a sort of, if I divide that by 5, then I'm going to divide that by 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So if I just make that like 10 contracts per trade, which should be more than enough, then we should be able to see a much more reasonable number. It was a little bit excessive on the drawdown. 20% is far beyond what I would ever consider running. If I was, for in an individual pair, I tend to consider sort of 1 to 2% an okay amount. If it's like 3 or 4%, then I would also consider it. Again, I still need to cut the contract size down a little bit further, but you can still see that we're still 5,000% up. So 6%, if I halve that, it's going to be 3%. So that's going to be 3.3%. So if I make that like so, then it's probably going to be about where we want it. And again, you do have to just manipulate the contract sizes so you can see what sort of size and what risk position it wants. This is the one thing I don't like about TradingView's backtesting. You are using contract sizes that are not in lot sizes like on MetaTrader. You can set it to risk per an equity risk, but that works. So 3.5%, that kind of works for me. But again, 1,700% growth, you can never complain about that at 3% drawdown. That's enough that you will always stay within any prop firm while also being able to make more than you could possibly imagine. I mean, going from 100,000 US dollars to 1.7 million is a huge amount. Right, now if I go to this, we'll quickly run it in equity mode. I'm just going to leave it at 3% equity, see what happens. Might need to adjust it for the drawdown, but we can have a look. And then we will go into the chart. If you're sticking around with us, I will, at the end of this video, put a link to another video that you might find useful. Probably to the Be a Better Swing Trader method or to the freebie method video. It will be to one of them or both, because they're going to be the most useful ones to follow up on after this video. So you can see that on 3% equity for a position, you can see that we made 146,000 US dollars, but at a risk of 0.6%. Now, if anyone said, hey, would you like the chance to make $146,000 when you're risking $1,000 total, I would say that's probably a good deal. Now, we will quickly get rid of that and we will jump onto the chart. So you can see there's a bit of a mess. There's a lot of things on here because it's a strategy, not an indicator. So with strategies, you always get like the little long plus 0 point whatever minus 0 point whatever exit, which I will just quickly clear off. Now with the actual indicator itself, you get a few things. So you can see on the chart right now, I'm just going to set this up exactly the same as I had the other one set. So this would be there. Now these wiggly lines are a lie. It's a little bug within TradingView at the moment. It just seems to print wiggly lines. They are actually coded to be dead straight, and you can see that in the vast majority of cases they are dead straight. Now it's a very, very simple method. All that happens is you wait for a star and smiley face. When you see a star and a smiley face, you can enter. You set your stop loss as per the line, and you set your take profit open. Now you can set your take profit to be just the 1.5 and close. So here, for instance, is 1.5 times an ATR, and you could do that however you're leaving profit on the table. What I'm suggesting is that you leave a final take profit open and you use the green line as when to start your trail stop. Now, in all of those tests you saw, the trail stop was set to 10 pips, and that's 10 pips, not 100, not 10 points, which is a difference. And for me, I decided that was one, relatively aggressive, but two, somewhat necessary. I mean, you can, and I'll probably add it into the functionality, you will be able to adjust the trail stop distance. So you can test it and see what works best for other pairs. I just set it as 10 pips and have been testing on every single pair at 10 pips just because I thought that would be a little bit easier on me, but also I felt like it was a good guide. In MetaTrader itself on desktop, there is always the function that you can right click on a trade stop loss and set trail stop. So you can just go in and right click, add trail stop 100 points, and it will handle that for you. Which makes your life a lot easier than having to work out how far each pair is and then keeping a little note on how far each pair you're trailing is. So the way you trade is literally just you get your entry, which is the brightly coloured candle. It will line up exactly with the star and the money face. You set your stop loss, you set your take profit, or you just have your point for when you want to trail, and then away you go. That's it. And then you can close. In this case, I've only got it programmed it to close when it hits a stop loss or when it hits the trail stop function. It's not closing at any other time. So for example, you can see here that it went and it just consolidated. It would have kept this trade running, entered, but it would never have exited any of these until it would have exited this one over here, probably over here somewhere, in the same way that this one would have exited. This one wouldn't have been exited until it got over here, and then these would have been exited exactly where it is anyway. And again, this would have exited, like this entry here would have exited somewhere over here. So you can see that it is just holding as and where necessary. This one would have just hit stop loss, but you can see that the vast majority stop loss was avoided and it did end up going. So you can end up with a few stacks of orders. These can be eliminated by just simply adding the RSI length. I've left a little RSI in there as just a filtering tool. It's got a couple of conditions to it, but you can see that if I start increasing its period, then you'll reduce the amount of trades that you get offered. Does it make it more accurate? I wouldn't inherently say it does. However, it probably does reduce the reliance on the user to be able to follow it all. So this is the indicator itself, and then you will also get access to the strategy tester, which will then give you the ability to go into each pair and go, well, I want to test these settings. Let me just see what we did. That was an RSI length of 12. We'll see what an RSI length of 12 does. And you can go in, click generate report, and then you'll be able to see what it did and if you thought it was more or less beneficial than previous. In this case, I think it's going to say it's less, but that's because it will hit the trading stops very aggressively, so it probably won't run out the trades so much. So in this case, it made 65% instead of 146%. The drawdown, however, was also tighter, so it swings and roundabouts. You'll be able to see and manipulate and play with it to see what suits you the most. I've been Taylor, this is Perfect Entry, and I will see you all for the next video. Have a good Christmas and a good New Year. Remember, you don't have to worry so much about trading during December. I myself am calling it basically the end of this week, so the 16th will probably be my last day until around January the 9th. You should also consider something similar, because that's when most banks will be shut anyway. Have a good rest of the year. Get your testing done and get ready to begin the new year strong. Thank you, everyone.